has grown stronger.
So welcome back to Money. We are talking about a disturbing study on Canada's oil sands, which suggests the boom is responsible for increased carcinogen levels in surrounding areas. I was just talking to Professor John Small. He's one of the authors of the new study. But not all experts agree with the results. And with me now is Tom Borelli from FreedomWorks. He also happens to have a PhD in biochemistry. Tom, thanks for coming back on the show. And we mentioned that because we want to say you're coming at this from a science perspective.
Absolutely.
We're trying to take the politics out of it and just analyze this study that they came up with. What did you think of what you just heard?
Well, unfortunately, these days, science and politics all get all mixed together.
That's true. That's a good point.
No,
but we're trying to, go ahead.
Sort it out.
Yeah.
But I think the study is fine. They did an analytical study, but where's the shock here? They've been doing development in oil sands now for over 50 years, and what they found was some increased levels in the mud, but no environmental impact, and the levels are not higher than the urban area. So it's a nice study. It may scare some people. It's something to look at maybe in the future, but there should be no shock about this at all. We're the same as in the urban environment. There's a big difference between the presence of an element or a chemical and its impact. Both you and I could go out to a bar, have a shot of vodka each. They could measure it on us. Yeah. But the impact, we're not drunk. So there's the difference.
You know, I have to say, though, I've spent a lot of time at oil installations all around the world, from Saudi deserts to, South America, whatever. I've been up to the oil sands, and that black dust gets all over everything. It follows you wherever you go. You see trails of it into every restaurant, into every shop. I mean, it really flies through the air, and it's everywhere. And I couldn't help thinking when I was there that I'm breathing this in, that it was different from other ways that we are harvesting petroleum. And, just from an observer's point of view, it felt more dangerous.
Well, the visuals on really all hydrocarbons, all fuel. I mean, coal is not really pretty. Oil isn't really pretty. Certainly,
it's
oil
not, but this flies through the air everywhere.
Right.
I mean, it really travels.
But I'm sure that the government's there monitoring that. That's environmental safety and health issues. In this study, they were looking at lakes, and I think you asked the right question. The baseline is wrong. When you're doing development, it's no longer pristine. They're doing development because Canada actually has it right. They have a lower corporate tax rate, which really helps, but they have fossil fuels and they're developing them. There's no free lunch in this world. There's a risk and there's a benefit. But in this study, the benefits of economic development, energy security in our continent far outweighs the risk.
Even if we do harvest this natural resource, do you think the study shows that we need to be more careful about how we're doing it?
Oh, always. I mean, it's always a learning process.
Yeah.
The fact that they found it, now they can work with the industry, find technology to perhaps reduce things. If his speculation was we do more, it's going to get worse. Well, that's speculation, but let's work with the industry, have the right technologies to make sure it doesn't. But at the end of the day, our economy, our world runs on fossil fuels, 80%. And it's not going anywhere.
No, we need to fuel
the
world economy without question.
Right.
What is the impact of a study like this, do you think? Because it's getting a lot of attention. That's why we're doing it tonight.
Yeah, I saw it all over the media.
All over the place.
And the words carcinogens are being thrown around. Remember, when you go out tonight, if you have a barbecue steak, the same chemicals they found deep in the mud are the same chemicals you're going to be eating on the barbecue. But certainly, this is the kind of issue that gets the media all whipped up. It's fuel for the environmentalist fire. Now it gives President Obama an excuse to say, well, maybe you don't need to do the Keystone Pipeline. President Obama has a war on fossil fuels. So this is what we need to combat to get a common sense policy.
Tom Borelli, it's always the damn media's fault. Have you noticed that? I've noticed that.
What am I doing here?
Yeah, that's right. Thank you so much.